man decisions. So I'm here to say that my legacy in the octagon is over. I could go back to the octagon, and what am I going to gain? I was the UFC heavyweight champion of the world. Due to my illness, my career got cut short. And that's God telling you, hey, it's time to move on, and maybe it's the bump in the road for me. But as the years went by, it wore on me so much that the fighter inside of me didn't want it to end that way.
Are you saying today that as far as you're concerned, whether it be age, whether it be health or lifestyle, that you are officially closing the door on the sport of MMA?
I'm officially closing the door on MMA, yes. And it was hard. It's hard. I re-signed last night with the WWE.
Well, they kept that quiet, didn't they?
We're pretty good at keeping secrets.
Yeah, you are.
even in today's age of technology. But we came to a conclusion last night, and the offer on the table, I just could not refuse.
And that was 15 months ago on SportsCenters. We go face-to-face with former UFC and WWE heavyweight champion Brock Lesnar. It's great to see you. What's changed?
So I got to sit here and watch that and explain to you
yes, you do,
why,
my friend.
in God's name, are you doing this again?
Why are you going back in the octagon for UFC 200?
Because I couldn't live with that decision. It was like, going back to that interview, it was a hard decision for me to make. And that decision has haunted me for the last 15 months, and I figured I couldn't live like that for the rest of my life. I'm a big believer in living out your dreams and facing your fears and just facing the reality of, I don't want to be sitting 20 years from now saying, you know what, son, you should have went and did that. And here I am. And on the biggest stage of them all, I was on UFC 100, so why not be on UFC 200?
So whose idea was this? Who started the conversation?
This is very simple. This was me sitting having a cup of coffee at my farm in Canada and thinking I'd waking up every morning and feeling this feeling of, was that the right decision? Was that the right decision?
When did you start feeling this way? Right, immediately?
Immediately, as a matter of fact. Immediately, yeah. And I didn't even tell my wife. I told nobody. This thing haunted me on the inside for a long time. But I thought, you know what, if I was in the WWE, I could still kind of have those feelings inside the ring. But the true competitor in me is still alive and well, and I have to do this.
Okay, you left. You had 2 bouts with diverticulitis. So when you left, you weren't healthy. Is this a sense of having unfinished business? Why did this haunt you so much?
It haunted me because at the top of my career, I wasn't at the top of my game. So I felt like I was cheated out of my career in the UFC. I didn't lose in my mind and in my heart. I never lost to a foe. I never lost to my opponent. I lost to the diverticulitis. That was my opponent that beat me. Other people may have other thoughts and say other things about the way I performed. My performance was due to the illness, and absolutely yes. I'm sitting here today. I feel 1,000%. I wouldn't get in the octagon if I didn't. I'm not a second guesser. The only thing I second guessed was my decision of stepping away from the octagon. I know it's been a long time, but I feel great. I don't have to fake it. I'm not faking and telling anybody that, you know, I'm in the greatest shape of my life or something like that. This is for real. This is for real. I'm so excited, and I'm glad with my decision.
So who's your opponent going to be on July 9th?
I think he just signed the contract as we were walking in here. I was coming in here, and he hadn't signed it yet, but I do believe that it's done and it's official. And on July 9th, UFC 200, I'll be facing Mark Hunt.
Mark Hunt. Okay, 42 years old, 8th ranked heavyweight in the UFC. Why Mark Hunt?
Why not? Well, it could be anybody. I didn't care. That's how simple it is.
You mean you didn't have any say at all in who your opponent was going to be?
There was no. I didn't. I've never turned down a fight in the UFC. I've never walked away. I'm not the guy. Even when I was a champ, I never turned down a fight. And even when I was fighting to be the champion, I never turned down a fight. If Dana White called me and said, "You have opponent X, Y, and Z. Who do you want?" He never gave me those options. This is a guy that we want you to face. I said, "Great." That's what I'm going to do.
Fine with me. Guy made his UFC debut in 2010, 7-4-1 record, won each of his last 2 fights by knockouts. His last loss came in May of 2015. How do you match up with him?
Well, I'm a grappler at heart. He's a heavy hitter, and I think that's what the people want to see. The UFC ultimately culminated because we're gonna put guys with opposing disciplines against each other. I think I match up very well. If Mark ends up on the ground, the fight's over. I've been working. Obviously, I need to work on my stand-up game, but I'm excited and enthusiastic of doing so. That's the difference.
Can you walk me through this as a business deal? All right, so you're sitting on your farm, you're having these thoughts, you want to go back and fight again, you want to finish that chapter of your life, then who do you call? Did you call Vince McMahon? Did you call Dana White? How did these two entities come together to allow you to do this?
It's very simple. Nobody called me. It wasn't nobody else's idea. Dana didn't pick up the phone because we need to fill a spot.
Because Conor McGregor isn't going to be there. Ronda Rousey's not going to be there. It's obviously
like
huge. UFC 200 is huge. That was not the scenario.
No, it was not. I picked up the phone. It was me. I don't even remember. It's been 3 months ago. But it's taken some time for things to play out.
Right.
But I just said, what are the chances of having Brock Lesnar on the card at UFC 200? And we got together. You know, obviously I'm still under contract with WWE.
So what was their response to this?
Well, you just go in and sit down and have a big boy conversation with the boss, Vince McMahon, and it's simple. It's big business. It's billionaire business, and I'm big business. So why the hell wouldn't anybody want Brock Lesnar involved? So
he could have been territorial about it. I mean, does the WWE get anything in return for allowing you to do this?
I think it's very narrow-mindedness. If you know, I'm a crossover athlete. Okay, I'm the modern day Bo Jackson, people. I'm excited about it. I'm enthusiastic. I couldn't be more excited and honored and to have the opportunity that both companies have faith in Brock Lesnar to allow him to step back in the octagon. Even Dana White or the Fertitta brothers, for me to be gone and to have the impact that I did, and for them to allow me to come back and represent this big show is a great honor for me.
Why do you think that in the end that White welcomed you back?
Big business. It's all, I mean, at the end of the day, I'm a prize fighter, and I don't fight. Listen, titles don't pay the bills. What pays the bill, I'm a prize fighter. I fight for money, and it's no different. They're making money, I'm making money, everybody's making money. That's what this is all about. But more importantly, it's not about the money to me, and I've always said money is very important to me, but you can't step inside the octagon just for the money. This is in my heart. This is from the heart, and it just so happens I'm making a boatload of money.
Well, as he says with a big smile on his face. So you told me you don't know where your trophies are and your awards are, but you know what's in your bank account. How much money are you making with this venture?
I can't disclose. I mean, there's lots of zeros behind it.
Lots of zeros. Like how many is lots?
Like whatever it takes to I can't disclose
that.
Why would
zeros.
I want to? I'm not here to brag about it. I mean, I'm here to state that, listen, I'm a prize fighter, and everybody's making money. And at the end of the day, this is going to be an exciting show for me. I'm honored to be a part of it, and it's humbling to sit here and to actually announce to the world. I feel like a weight has been lifted off my shoulders because I've been carrying this around. And yeah, it's for real.
Is this going to be enough? What if July 9th is a smashing success for you in the octagon? Okay, so you say it will be. At that point, are you going to be able to walk away?
Who knows? It may just be a tease, but I don't know. I don't know that answer to that question right now. We'll cross that road when we get there. But first and foremost, I've got a big event after this event, SummerSlam for the WWE. So I'm a busy beaver.
That's coming up in August. What can you tell me about your plans for SummerSlam?
I have no idea. I don't know. I know that I'm on the card, and I don't know who I'm facing yet. But one thing at a time.
That's all you know.
One thing at a time.
All right, so this fight, UFC 200, is in 4 weeks. How long have you been training for a return to MMA?
8 o'clock yesterday morning. I went for a swim.
Come on, that's it? No, I know. How long have you been working towards this?
I've been thinking about it for quite some time, and when I had the conversation with Dana, it was a conversation of before I was going to even jump in and see if I needed to get an answer from
is this a go or not?
Can I participate? Can I do this? And then, I started playing around. I started getting into shape. I said and when the people said yes, of the higher powers, then I said, listen, let me get some time. Let me feel this out, and we'll kind of just go from there.
How different is that from the shape you have to be in for WWE? How much more intense?
Total different shape.
Right.
And there was nothing. I mean, Dana, he didn't even know I was serious about this. I mean, he honored the telephone call, but I just said, well, listen, I'll give you a call in some time, and we'll see if we can move this thing forward.
What is it that finally sealed the deal?
For just making sure that everybody was on the same page, and number one, my health and my well-being, and where was my mind when everything got finalized.
I need to ask you about another story that's been out there, and it's been a huge story about Ariel Helwani. Covers the UFC and MMA, and said he was banned for life from the UFC for breaking the news of your return. What's your reaction to that story?
I don't even know who that is.
Okay. You have not heard about that?
I don't do Twitter. For those of you that know, I don't follow it. I don't even know.
So you're completely unaware of that story?
I have no idea. The only thing I care about is me, and that's I don't know. I can't answer that question.
All right. Not at UFC 200, as you and I have talked about, is Conor McGregor, and so you don't do Twitter. He certainly does, and he's talked repeatedly about being a bigger draw than not just you and others were back in the day. What do you see as his impact on the sport? What do you think about the kinds of things that he's been saying?
Well, once again, I don't know, but I know of Conor McGregor, and I know that anything. I mean, this sport has evolved even from the first time that I entered into the octagon, and I think people are finding out that you have to talk, and you have to, more importantly, walk the walk. And so for guys that can talk and walk the walk, I think it's great. I think it's great for the company. I got no qualms with anybody. I mean, if somebody wants to state that they're the biggest pay-per-view draw in the world, I don't care. I've never came out and said, "Hey, listen, I hold the most pay-per-view buys." I don't. All I know is what I got paid, and I'm happy to do so. And like I said, I'm a prize fighter. I don't hang my championships on the wall because they don't pay the bills.
I want to ask you also about Muhammad Ali. A lot of people have been remarking, and everybody has a different perspective on what he meant to you as an individual. I'm wondering, did he touch your life in any way with his legacy and the things that he accomplished and did?
You know, I got to meet Ali one time, and all I remember when I met and shook the man's hand was, he never talked. I mean, at the point, Parkinson's or whatever, the illness had taken over, but I just remember when he extended his hand, and he didn't have to say anything to me. It was a weird vibe, not a weird vibe. It was such a gracious handshake, and it was very. I can't even put a word to it. So I honor.
You felt something.
I felt
powerful.
Something powerful from the man, and that's the only. I've watched pretty much all of his fights, but
you did.
I met the man one time and never got to. He never spoke a word to me, but I felt the presence and power from him. So it was impactful. I mean, as far as I think one of the greatest. I mean, here's a guy that's a boxer. Who is selling tickets, talking the talk, and getting in the ring and walking the walk. And he set the stage for. I mean, it's business. It's big business. You got to be flashy on the outside and flashy on the inside. So. I think, yeah, it's a tragedy, and my heart goes out to the family to live with Parkinson's for X number, how many years?
Very difficult.
Very difficult, and that's just a battle in itself. Forget how great of a champion he was. The man had to live with Parkinson's for how many years? That's a feat in its own.
And at the end of the day, and I know you want to go back into the octagon and do, you know, just finish that off somehow, whether you said it'll be in UFC 200 or it'll go beyond that, and you don't know. Your success in the WWE, your success in college. What do you hope that your legacy is?
Somewhere along the line, I think maybe somewhere down the line, if I shake a young man's hand and have the same impact that Muhammad Ali had on me, I think that, you know, words can't describe. I can't sit here and talk about legacy. I don't even know what that is. My legacy is whatever people want it to be. All I know is I have to get up every day and look at myself in the mirror, be the man that I need to be for myself, my family, and God, and that's it. You know, legacies are I think people that live on legacy are very shallow in the soul. I'm not. I'm always moving forward. You know, so that's where I'm at with my life.
Got a lot to look forward to this summer. You're busy, so I'll let you go.
Thank you.
You got stuff to do. Brock Lesnar, congratulations.
Thank you.
On everything, and it's great to have you back on SportsCenter. Look forward to talking to you again soon. Thanks.
Thank you very much.
Thanks. All right, coming up next, we're live with John Wall.